Hi guys, in this video, I'm going to be using the switch kit touch sensors to turn on LEDs. So I'm going to open up Snap for Arduino and I'm going to come to this file here and import my Hyperduino touch sensor .xml block, or it's a .xml file, but it's a Hyperduino touch sensor block. And I'm going to import that here, and that's going to be this sensor touched reporter under variables. We'll be using that soon. So to get started, I have my Hyperduino here, and then I have my ribbon cable with the LEDs on the end. And I also have my ribbon cable with the open sockets, but on just the last few, or you could put them in all of the sockets, I have the little touch points inserted. So these came in your kit too. You would just take one and insert it into the open socket. Once you get that click, you're good to go. So this ribbon cable with the gray connector box on the end goes into the same color block on the board. And right next to this one, it says touch. So that's indicative of its function, which is for touch sensors. So I just pop that on, and I'm going to do the same with the ribbon cable with the LEDs on the end. So I'm going to put this in the first black box here on top that says LEDs 2 through 7. So now that I have all of this connected, I'm going to plug back up to my computer and give that a second to get together. And something important, very important to remember, do not touch your ribbon cables at all when you are connecting your Hyperduino, your switch into Snap for Arduino, because the function of the touch sensors is initially always in the untouched position, or that's how we want it when we're first putting it, when we're first connecting it with Snap for Arduino, because we want it to be able to identify when it's being touched. So it has to be untouched in its initial state. So now I'm going to come into Arduino and I'm going to connect my Arduino, my Hyperduino here. Now everything is connected, and I'm going to grab this set digital pin command from Arduino. So if you look at your board, and like I said, we're going to be turning on LEDs with the touch sensors in this video. So we've connected our LED ribbon cable in LEDs 2 through 7. So this set digital pin is going to indicate which LEDs are going to turn on. So we have 2 through 7 to work with. So if I set the digital pin 2 to on and I activate this, I'll put it in a forever loop just to show you. Then my brown and red wires that connect to the LED are in the on state. If you can compare and see the difference here. So how we're going to do this with the touch sensors is we're going to come back to our variables and grab that sensor touched reporter. And now we're going to grab an operator with an equal sign. And then to put these two together, we're just going to insert the sensor touch reporter into the first slot of the operator. And now I can choose which touch sensor is going to eventually turn on the LED. So your touch sensors are 2 through 13, and 13 is the brown wire on the end, and 2 is the red wire on the opposite end. And you can always trace the wires back to the board and then see what number matches up with what wire. So I have a touch point in wire 13, which is the farmost brown wire. So I am going to say when my sensor is touched, when number 13 sensor is touched. So now I'm going to grab a control that says if sensor 13 is touched, set digital pen 2 to on. So now when I put this in a forever loop and start the code, if I touch this 13th touch sensor, my LED number 2 will turn on. So here we go. And now you can see that's on. Something we can do to further extend this is duplicate. So right click, duplicate this entire procedure. And now I have another touch point in the 12th wire, which is the red wire right next to our end brown wire, number 13 that we just used. So now if sensor 12 is touched, it'll turn the second LED off. So when I have both of these running, I have my LEDs here. It's a little hard to show, but here I am touching the 13th sensor and it's on, it's staying on, I'm not touching it anymore, and now I'm touching 12 and it's off. So that's how you can use the touch sensors with the LEDs.